Wow, wow, wow. And Delianne is one of the bravest people I know. You know why? Because she just lets herself be vulnerable in front of all of us. Let's give the whole band and Delianne some love. Yeah, I think that opened up our hearts. You know, coming to this community, so I haven't planned on saying this. When I came here to candidate, and so many people ran up to me and said, "Oh, Reverend Cindy, you have a wife? We need you. We need you in Utah." Because there's so many young people in this valley that aren't accepted for who they are. That was one of the biggest reasons that I accepted this position, because I knew that by me just being who I am authentically, vulnerably in front of all of you, that was my life's purpose. So thank you for picking that song. And yes, come out wherever you are is the theme for this month. And I've been saying this Dr. Seuss quote every week, and I'm going to do it again because I love it. So just bear with me. One more week after this. It's today you are that is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you. It's just so simple and true. So yes, the topic today is let me. And, you know, I am so enjoying this book. I've listened to it and read it. So every time I pick it up, the simplicity of it catches me kind of off guard. But this is what happened. We are studying in our class, The Roots of Science of Mind. Right now we're studying Emerson, Ralph Waldo Emerson, and we're reading this book, Essays. And what struck me was, even though there's almost 200 years difference between these books, the wisdom is the same. Yes, the words are very different. This is much harder to read. Very valuable and worth it. This is put in modern day ways that we can understand. But so powerful. I'll go into that a little bit more. So from our Let Them book, Mel Robbins, she reminds us that we cannot control situations. We cannot control people. We cannot control our kids. Sometimes I can't control my dogs either. But anyway, I think we need to be a little more alpha, huh, Brad? We are wrapped around their paws, but we love them. That's the truth in life. Things are always happening. People are always peopling. Life is always lifing. That's just the state of the world. That's how it unfolds on a daily basis. But how many times in your life did you try to go into fix-it mode? Or recovery mode? Or this isn't right mode and I need to say something to this person. Hey, why did you do it that way, Teresa? Right? Teresa's just being Teresa, her beautiful, wise self. I cannot control what anyone does in this room. That's why let me is so powerful. It's the only thing I can control. The only thing. So Mel Robbins says the three things that we can control are what we think, what we do, and how we respond. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about Emerson and Mel. So, again, in this book, there's different essays, and we just read Self-Reliance. And this book was written in 1841. Yeah, 1841. Mel's actually, her first release was actually 2024, December. So brand new, hot off the press. So this is what I found that just blew me away. Emerson says in his essay, what I must do is all that concerns me, not what people think. This rule, equally arduous in actual and intellectual life, may serve for the whole distinction between greatness and meanness. It is rather harder because you will always find those who think they know what is your duty better than you know it. Bumped into those people? Much? Always happens in life. So, I want you to recognize that Ernest Holmes gained his influence from this writer. So in Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes writes, if we allow the world's opinion to control our thinking, then that will be our demonstration. If, on the other hand, we rise superior to the world, we shall create a new pattern. What's going on? What did we just hear that happened the other night? Where did your mind go? Did it go to, oh, we're going into war? Fear? Worry? Concern? The only thing we can control, folks, is by holding the peace. If you buy into, we're going into war, if you buy into, then is going to happen. That's what Science of Mind teaches us. I can tell you this. It didn't just happen. It's all those that we all carry. The out-picturing, the manifestation of our thinking. We all get to take responsibility for where this world is. Otherwise, we're just victims of it. Ernest Holmes also said, nothing is real unless we make it real. Nothing can touch us unless we let it touch us. In the independence of your own mentality, believe and feel that you are wonderful. This is not conceit. This is the truth. See, I know it's a challenge. You don't get to escape this life of not feeling our humanity. I have uh-ohs when I heard that news. I had my friend Narges reach out to me. She's from Iran. She's lived here for many years in California, one of my classmates, and she asked for prayer for her family. My mind went to that place of, this can't be. But I caught myself. Is that the presence I want to be? Is that what I want to add to this conversation? Is that what I want to bring to this world? No. I want to uplift. I want to come from that higher perspective, that higher vibration. It's not easy, but it's doable. So fast forward to Mel Robbins. She says, when you say let me, you focus on one person whose opinion truly matters, yours. The truth is simple. You hold the power, and you are the one who has been giving it away. I remember through the years of political craziness that we've had these last 10 years of feeling like there's no way this could happen, and yet it keeps happening, and it keeps happening, and it keeps happening. And I said, wait a minute, where am I in all of this? What is my responsibility in all of this? I need to up-level my game. And that is, if I believe there is truly one, and that my successes are everyone else's successes, and when everybody else has challenges, they're also my challenges, and that we treat each other with compassion and kindness everywhere we go, even if we disagree. If I can really hold that vibration, then I know this world can change. But if I'm going to buy into, oh no, here we go, then, oh no, here we go, there it comes. So I learned, I have a unique journey, just like we all do. My early 20s. I had someone tell me that, Cindy, all you have to do is love yourself and trust your choices, and anything is possible. That became my credo. But what they also told me was that I have my own answers. I am my own best authority, that I don't have to listen to the news or the experts because I know what is right for me. Imagine getting that in your 20s. It doesn't mean that I always was able to live by that, because I had a whole, 20 plus years of programming that we all get. That happens just by being in this world, by tuning into the news, by listening to your coworkers kind of catastrophize about what's going on. You can't help but get caught into that kind of current. But somewhere in my 20s, I said, wait a minute, I have a choice here. I don't have to get caught in that current. Or I can look at it, hear it, understand what's going on, and then swim my own direction that I want to swim. I am so grateful that I've had the journey that I've had where I've had these learnings. So, it's exactly what Emerson was saying all those years ago, is that we have the divinity within. That man, woman, God, goddess are one and the same. See, it's not that big daddy in the sky. Or maybe it is for Shane. Everything, every resource, anything, all the power, all the wisdom of these amazing teachers and sages and mystics and gurus, it's at our fingertips. It's when we tell ourselves, I don't know, I don't have that ability, I don't have that intellect. So we say that to ourselves so many times that we start believing it. It's right here. You want to know what's right for you? You check in right here. So I want to go back to these 3 things that Mel said, because I know the words are easy to hear, but it's challenging to do. And since we have control of ourselves, I wanted to give you those tools that will help you move forward in the way that you're choosing to move forward, rather than going back into that habit that you've always had. The first thing she said is, you have control of what you think. I remember many years ago when I first became a practitioner, someone came up to me at the center and said, how do you do that? I said, well, I don't always do that. I don't always think to the positive and understand that the world is actually for me, that there's something that is causing me to grow. I don't always do that, but what I do is I recognize when I feel bad from what I'm thinking. When I feel bad from what I'm thinking, it gives me a moment to pause and say, hang on a second. What else is trying to happen here? How am I really wanting to show up in this situation? So think about this. You grow up, you go to school, you have the parents that you have and the family that you have and the friends that you have. And within that context, in that environment that you were brought up in, you were taught certain things about, don't think too much of yourself, that's too conceited, or, don't be too big for your pants, like all these things that people tell you when you're little, like, careful there, you're not all that. You can do the same now. I don't care what age you are. If you've been trained to not recognize your own divinity, if you've been trained to not recognize your own gifts, if you've been trained by whatever's happened in your life, you can train yourself differently. How do you do that? You do it by doing it over and over and over and over again. Just like you're training to be in the Olympics. Now, I know some people are born with this natural athletic ability, but some aren't, but they love it so much that they train. It's what they do. It's what's important to them. You have the same opportunity. I have the same opportunity. If you find yourself hanging out with someone that doesn't get your potential, that doesn't see your wisdom, hey, maybe you need to not hang out with that person so much. Could be someone in your family. I've had that happen. I still go to family gatherings, but I don't sit in conversation with that one particular person because she doesn't support my bigness. And that's fine. So I go over to this side of the room with my cousin where we're in alignment when we talk about what our opportunities are and what life is bringing us. I want to leave that situation, that family gathering, feeling great. You have a choice. So, the other thing that I told this person that asked me when I first became a practitioner, I said, think of it as, okay, I'm going to go old school here. Some of you don't know about this. There's these things called records. And back in the day, I had my own little turntable in my room, and I would play Elton John over and over and over again. And what happens is there's these grooves in the record. Well, we have grooves in our mind. And when we play the same old song over and over again, maybe the same old song is, oh, you're not young enough, you're not good enough, you're not slim enough, you're not rich enough. Maybe that's the groove that keeps playing over and over. You have to find your new groove. So you start inserting something different when something happens. Oh, what good is going to come out of this? Rather than, uh-oh, here we go, something bad's going to happen. That's the old groove. The new groove is, what is going to come out of this? Something is exciting. Something is about to manifest. I'm so excited. You find that new groove and you practice it over and over and over again. The next thing Mel says is what to do, and this is the action piece. What I do on a daily basis. If what you're doing is not bringing you to your highest potential, you might want to rethink what you're doing. Right? Sometimes I sit there and think, well, I really should be exercising more. That doesn't serve me. It doesn't get me out there. It doesn't get me to the gym. But if I sit there and say, hey, it would be really great it's a beautiful day, let me go walk the dogs. That serves me. I'm out there moving. I'm talking to the neighbors. They're getting their exercise. I'm getting my exercise. You have to do something differently. If you're getting the results that you don't want, then you have to choose something differently to do. Again, this might not happen in an instant. Selena's one of my heroes when it comes to exercise. She's always doing something. Walking, pickleballing, swimming. She's always doing something. I'm always like, I want to be more like Selena when I grow up. And then finally, she says, how I respond. I can only control how I respond. But let's talk about this, because I just had an instant situation this week. It was Thursday. I worked a long day. I didn't sleep much that night before. And I reacted to some people in a way that I didn't feel proud of. So I didn't really choose to react that way. It just kind of was one of those gut things. I was cranky pants, let me tell you. Some people are in this room and might say, yeah, she was. But I saw it. It was like I could witness myself doing that, and what I did was I cleaned it up right away. I went to the people and said, I apologize. This is not how I want to show up. Yeah, we have to work on this thing to make it better, but I don't like how I showed up. So how I respond is completely up to me. If you don't like how you respond to things, then you have to find a way to take a beat before you respond. Maybe it's just taking a breath. Maybe it's saying, excuse me, going to the restroom, taking some breaths there, taking a moment, and then facing the person again. You have to find what works for you so that you can do it from a conscious place. Because those unconscious reactions, man, they'll get you. And they'll get the people we love too. And I don't want to hurt the people I love. So, remember these three things. The only thing we can control is what we think, what we do, and how we respond. I'm done with all those years I put myself through hell, wanting approval, wanting to look successful, wanting to look like I had it all together. I'm done with that. The truth is, I want to be proud of me. I want to be brave in how I show up. I actually do have a birthday coming soon. I'm getting older, and I realize that, those especially those first 20 years were really tough. I was a tough teenager. I had issues. I did. But fortunately for me, I bumped into my spiritual Eskimo and I learned how to meditate. And then I found all these beautiful writers and started reading. And then I found community in my early 30s. San Jose Center for Spiritual Living. I'm so grateful for my journey, because all of these things that I've learned along the way have just reminded me that I get to be in control, that I get to create the life that I've always wanted. So I'm so grateful that you're all here so that we can do this together, individually and as a community. Let's pray. Just taking in a nice deep breath. First we let them, and then we let me. I am so grateful for this writing. I am so grateful for Emerson and his writing, and Ernest Holmes, and our new modern day mystics, Mel Robbins. I am so grateful that we come together to be and know our highest potential, to realize and recognize that we are one and the same as the one. That we are, in our humanity, divine beings of light and love. I am grateful. I am grateful for everyone that has walked through these doors that gets a glimmer of knowingness that they can make a change, that they are truly in control of the things that they can control, and they let go of what they can't control, and no longer uses that to feel less than, or not worthy, or not capable. I am grateful. I am grateful to know that there is only one power, one presence, one love, whether you call it God, Spirit, Allah, Jehovah, Hashem, the Way, Adonai, the universe, that divine matrix, heart, love, light, energy. All of these to say there's only one. This oneness is in and through everything. It's in those musical notes. It's in each and every animal, insect, each and every leaf and bud and bloom. Every grain of sand that makes up our deserts, and every grain of sand that makes up our beaches, and every drop of water that hydrates this planet. It's everywhere, everything, including those nebula that we cannot see but are there. Or these dimensions, because we are multi-dimensional beings, these dimensions that we can't always see and recognize, but it's there. Within there is the one. And because I know that there is only one thing happening, and in this moment I'm calling it God, God, and only God, I claim and I know that I am one and the same as the one. That I can never be separated from it because I am it, and I know the same truth for everybody hearing this prayer. Whether online, our beautiful, beloved online community, or in this room. Whether watching it right this moment or watching the recording months after. That we are interconnected always. Reminding each other of the magnificence, the power, the presence, and that we have choices. So knowing all of that, I claim and know for this beloved country that I call home. That I'm not going to take this news that has come through to say and demonize and catastrophize. I'm going to take this news and take it in my soul and say, how can I show up as a beacon of peace? The harbinger of prayer, the woman of God that I know that I am. And I know the same prayer for each and every soul that wants to make this world a better place, that we can be the peace that we want to see everywhere on this planet. I also know for those of us in this room that are going through physical challenges, emotional challenges, anything that's making you feel less than whole, less than 100% energy, that this too is something knocking at your heart so that you rest more, so that you recognize more who and what you are. These body temples that house us, that serve us, are here temporarily, and we care for them and we love them and we take care of them the best we can so that we can move forward and answer our call to what is our purpose of being. Being compassionate, being kind, lending a hand, whatever it is that calls you. So I give you a moment to say your name and the names of the people that you want prayer for. You can do it silently or say it out loud. Cindy. Or you can beep it out loud. Yes, prayers. There's nothing too small to ask for, to know for yourself. There's nothing too big. As we are praying harmony on a daily basis for these 100 days, harmony that is here now. We acknowledge that. Peace is here now. We acknowledge that a peace that goes beyond all human understanding when it comes to our loved ones, whether it's grieving, changes occurring in our lives, that this is happening now. And for this, I am so grateful to study these writers and to know what's mine to do, that I can only control the things that I can control. So I let me make a choice of how I respond, of the action that I take, of how I think. So with gratitude, I say thank you, oneness. Thank you, God. Thank you, life, for answered prayer. And we just release it into these spiritual laws that I know only work 100% of the time. 24/7, 365. We let it go. We let it be. And we anchor this prayer by saying together, and so it is. Amen. Ashe.